Hey students, this is Miss Jacobson, and I am going to read you the article for Al Capone, the Original Gangster. Al Capone, the Original Gangster. Ever heard of the word gangster? Al Capone is the most famous American gangster of all time. Early life. Al Capone was born in Brooklyn, New York, to very poor parents who had immigrated from Italy. He was the fourth child out of a total of 9 children for Gabrielle and Teresina Capone. His destiny of organized crime started at the young age of 12 when he dropped out of school to join a street gang in Brooklyn. Another member of his group was Lucky Luciano, who gained his own infamy later in life as well. Capone met his wife Mary in 1918. Later that year, they had their first son, Albert, also called Sonny. A life of crime. Capone's life of crime started when he was arrested for a disorderly conduct charge, which means his actions were bothering others or he was disturbing the peace. Around this very same time, Capone was charged with the murder of 2 men. Any witnesses or accomplices, those who might have helped with the murder, never admitted to seeing or knowing anything about the murders. Capone had the protection of gang etiquette and was never tried for those first murders. Soon after this short arrest, Capone and his family moved to Chicago in 1919. Organized crime and prohibition. Based on Capone's ideals of a successful career, the move to Chicago proved to be the perfect change. He went to work for a man by the name of John Torrio. Capone soon became Torrio's right-hand man in his bootlegging business, where they would illegally make, distribute, and sell alcohol. Their dealings with alcohol were illegal because their operation was in full swing during the Prohibition era. This meant alcohol was illegal to make, distribute, sell, or drink. When Torrio stepped aside from his role in the bootlegging business, Capone was the man in charge of supplying illegal alcohol. He was good at it, too. Why was he so good at it? Capone was said to have had a profitable relationship with Mayor William Hale Thompson and Chicago's law enforcement. With this law enforcement safety net, Capone was soon controlling all speakeasies, gambling houses, horse and race tracks, distilleries, breweries, and nightclubs in Chicago. He was rumored to make upwards of $1 billion in a year. This was shared with his employees, who were the workhorses of his organized crime ring. But those in large numbers showed just how much of Chicago Capone was running. No more friends. Capone and Mayor Hale appeared to have a mutually beneficial relationship. It has been said that Capone's support of Hale is what got him reelected into office. But Hale soon realized that Capone wasn't good for his political image. The mayor hired a new police chief with the goal of getting Capone out of Chicago. Capone left Chicago, but quickly realized he wasn't liked by most of the country. He eventually made his way to Palm Island, Florida in 1928. The move to Florida didn't make Capone reevaluate his career choice either. He got in the habit of planning and then killing any of his enemies who became too powerful for his liking. St. Valentine's Day Massacre. The most notorious or most famous and well-known of all of Al Capone's killings was the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. 4 of Capone's gang members went into a garage, and the garage had a secret bootlegging business. Some of Capone's gang members were dressed in police outfits, so they thought that they were getting busted by the cops. Because of this, they dropped their weapons and put their hands in the air. Capone's men were ruthless. They fired 150 shots from their guns, which included the use of machine guns. The raid left 7 men dead. Capone never took the fall for this because he had an alibi. He was in Florida at the time of the massacre. Another side to the original gangster. Capone wasn't only known for his ruthlessness and temper. Capone was one of the first people to open soup kitchens and give food and shelter to those in need. This was especially true with the stock market crash in 1929. He did this at his own expense. However, the means of which he got his funds was not as admirable as these actions. Ironic end of Al Capone. Capone was arrested a couple of times during his reign as public enemy number 1. He was arrested once for murder, but it was never tried because of lack of evidence. Another time he was arrested for simply carrying a gun. He was a hard man to convict. It wasn't until the late 1920s that they were able to convict Capone for tax evasion, not paying money owed to the government for his gambling profits. Capone tried a variety of methods that had worked in the past, different pleas, trying to bribe the judge and jury, and trying to make other deals, but with no success. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison and was eventually sent to Alcatraz, the most secure prison in the nation, after he had learned to gain power in other prison systems. On January 25, 1947, Capone died from cardiac arrest. To this day, Al Capone remains one of the most notorious gangsters and leaders of organized crime.